Okay, so my name is Emerald Sparks. I own a tax and bookkeeping business here in Dayton, Ohio, and I have Jerricha Hoskins with me. If you have not heard of Jerricha Hoskins, she is the owner and founder of Arcani Coil Care, which is a hair product manufacturing company right here in Dayton, Ohio. Jerricha, would you like to tell them a little bit about Arcani, and then we can go ahead and get started?
Is it still going to echo? Okay. So I am the owner of Arcani Coil Care. I manufacture hair products here in Dayton, Ohio. Today it's 2021. Okay, in 2020, I opened up a 20,000 square foot manufacturing facility in Trotwood, Ohio. I think I have 30 employees or 24. I have people that work for me. I scaled my business pretty much on my own. Like, I bootstrapped my business for the most part. That's all I got.
That's all you got? Okay. The reason why I thought Jerricha would be very perfect for this conversation is because Jerricha is actually someone who maximized every dollar that she had in her company to grow it. A lot of people, when they start businesses, they are looking for someone to give them money. And I'm not talking about like a pitch competition or something like that. Like, people come to me and say, I need money to start my business. And I look at them with this stare like this. Okay, so after I get done staring at them, I'm like, well, how much money do you need? And what do you need it for? And they literally have no idea. So I think a misconception that people have is that when they first start their business, they're automatically going to make six figures, right? No one knows who you are. So it takes essentially time to build a business, but because we have social media and everybody always posts their highlight reels on social media, everybody looks very wealthy, everybody looks like their business is doing extremely well, everybody looks like they have it all together. So when I met Jerricha, she started her business with $250. And now she is a multi-million-dollar business over time. But that $250 translating into multi-millions of dollars cost Jerricha a lot of money. And that cost part right there is the amount of money that people don't want to spend or people don't want to invest in their business because they literally have no idea what it takes to make $1 million in a business. Jerricha, could you share with the good people here how, quick story, but not too quick, how you took $250 and made it to be multi-million?
Okay, so as everybody on social media is millionaires according to the pictures, but 250 to $1 million, a short story. Okay. I think like a drug dealer. There, I said it. So I saw it as flipping my money. So I started with $250. The money that I made, I always reinvested it to scale my inventory. Like, I did not spend the money on myself. I spent it to grow my business. Any milestone that I hit where I made a lot of money, like there were times that I went viral and brought in a lot of cash at one time, I always used that cash to scale. And to this day, we use our cash to scale Arcani. I could buy a giraffe if I wanted to. I could drive around in a G-Wagon and hit every pothole in Ohio, but I know, like, I have to spend this money to scale my business or I'm not going to have a business. Right now, what's going on is people are starting to get hip to like marketing on social media and things like that, but it ain't the same as it was in 2019 or even 2020. Now, people have spent all this money on advertising. They don't even have an email list. They don't have a text messaging list. So ads don't perform anymore, but I have a 500,000 email and text messages that I can market to that doesn't cost me anything for real.
Let's pause there.
Pause, okay.
Okay, so Also, another thing that people don't think about when they're starting is they are just like, this is my passion. I'm going to promote it on social media, and then everybody is going to come. It's kind of like if you build it, they will come, and it's like not the right mindset to have. So before you start a business, I'm sure your friends list on social media consists of, you know, people that know you, people that you're familiar with. They may not be your target audience, and that is a pivotal key that I feel that people negate to think about is, are you even, when you are posting on social media to your, you know, in your direct platforms, are you even talking to people that want to buy your product? So you get in the habit of saying, I make hair care products, so I'm talking to everybody who has hair. No, you're not. And I think not understanding who you're talking to is a part of why it may seem. Oh, I heard a sound. Okay, okay. Why you may not be attracting or getting the revenue that you want because you're actually not even still talking to who you need to market your product to or your service. When I first started out in the financial services, nobody on my friend group were into financial services. I didn't have other business owners that needed bookkeeping or needed their taxes prepared. So it took me a while to grow my business because as you start promoting your business, people know what to start referring you for. Once you start going to networking events, people start to know like who you are. Like I walk into rooms now and they're like, oh, Emerald, I need to get with you because I need to make an appointment about bookkeeping or whatever. Like I have been building my business for 4 years now, so when people see me, they know what I do. So it's like, if I just started doing this 3 months ago, you wouldn't know who I am. You don't know the credibility of who I am. And I think that's what people at that building business phase that they negate to find out. Jerricha has 500,000 people on her text message system, but that took her time to get. She just didn't do that in 3 months. Like we've been in business, I keep saying we, because it's our business, but it's her business. Jerricha's been in business for 4 years now, and it took a long time for her to get that, and a lot of money. So, okay, go ahead.
It took time and money, but it also took like looking like forward, like in the future. Like I could have just ran Facebook ads and totally depended on that, and I would not have no money right now because Facebook ads don't work like that no more. So it's more so of just forward thinking, always thinking 10 steps ahead. So like while my competition is spending, throwing all their cash away on, you know, paid advertising, I literally send an email or a text and we make our revenue for the day. I don't have to advertise on social media anymore. With, I think that the biggest question that I get, everybody always like, how did you do it? Like, I worked. That's it. You just have to be consistent. It's a lot of people that like start businesses, and because it doesn't take off in 6 months, they want to give up. Like when I first started Arcani Coil Care, I was selling stuff out of my trunk. To the target audience point, okay, my product line started with 4 products: shampoo, conditioner, hair butter, and growth oil. I realized that my target audience don't do their hair at home. They go to a hair salon to get their hair done. So I created a product that I could sell to everybody. I still have an audience that'll do their hair at home and they're interested in taking care of their natural hair, but I created a product that everybody uses in our community, and that's how I scaled my company. The get rich quick, it frustrates me. I have a small following on Facebook. I don't really be on, I don't have a lot of friends on Facebook like other people, but it's like I sit back and I watch, like, because somebody posts a picture and it's cute, like they're rich. Like, no, they spent all their money on their outfit and we ain't even seen, I don't know what their business is. Like, I think like focusing in on like your brand and promoting yourself in your brand, you can't run fast if you're looking backwards, essentially. That's what I tell people. But it's possible. Like, it's billionaires out here. Ain't it like, it's something like 20, what is it? basically it's a small percentage of people in the world that like have all of the wealth. They make all of the money. And we're like the lowest on the totem pole. The small business owners, the regular 9 to 5 people, like we're at the bottom. Like there's so much money in the world to make. Like you just have to be consistent. It's not $1 million isn't a lot of money. I know that sounds crazy, but it's not because you spend it, it goes away.
Very quickly. Um, so also, Jerricha, and as she spoke to this a little bit, the investments that you put back into your business are very pivotal in making sure that you are putting the right investments back into your business. A lot of people are scared to lose money. We've lost money on things that we thought were right. It's literally trialing error sometimes, and a lot of business owners get afraid to lose that money. Also, when you're starting out, more than likely you have a job, and I always tell people if you have a job and you are starting a business, you are like in a better position than somebody who does not have a job and they're starting a business, because literally your paycheck can be used to start your business. That's what I did. Before I quit my job, I used my paycheck to start my business. And I have a service-based business. I didn't have a product-based business, so my overhead was extremely low. So I didn't need to have thousands of dollars, hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars, because my overhead was so low. But if you are starting a product-based business, your paycheck from your job is that kind of starting fund for you. Also, I do want to say, if you guys have questions, you can ask them. Like, I don't want you just sitting here listening to us talk. Like, if there's something that you want us to go into detail about or elaborate, please raise your hand and ask that question. But just getting out of that mindset that somebody is, like, there's a grant out there for you to start your business. There are no grants for starting a for-profit business. I'm gonna say that again. There are no grants for starting a for-profit business. There's pitch competitions, there's maybe an angel investor for you. If they give out some more pandemic money, you gotta make sure you qualify. And so I just wanna talk about that just a little bit. The reason why a lot of people did not qualify for any of the grants that came out or did not qualify for a PPP loan is because they do not have documentation. And what I mean by documentation, is tax returns. Everybody wants to be a business owner until you have to report it on your taxes. Everybody wants to be a business owner until you have to produce a financial statement. Those are things that was they wanted to know on those grants is 2 years tax returns. If you did not have those, you automatically disqualified yourself. So a lot of people put up these barriers against themselves by just not having proper documentation. So if you're not a scammer, I'm not talking about the scammers, have proper documentation. If you want to be a business owner, you got to report that on your taxes, because you don't get a W-2. There's no way for even a bank to say you made or did not make this money. And if you are looking for a loan from a bank, you have to think at the end of the day, the bank is a business. They need to make money. So you want them to give you money, they want your interest. And if you are already showing them that you don't make any money, why would a bank give you some money? So think about stuff like that. It's not to attack you. It's not to say that you are never going to have a business or you have no future as a business owner. People want their money back. People want to see your documentation. They want to see the financial health of your business. It's that and marketing, I would say, are the two biggest things that people ignore when they are starting a business, and when they are just building their business. That's all I wanted to say there. Hand clap for the financial documentation. Also, that building stage, it takes a long time. It takes so long. Like, people have to know you, people have to trust you. You just cannot come out the gate and the next day you are a 6-figure, 7-figure earner in your business. It just takes time. And a lot of people just don't want to sit there and wait for that time to be taken. Jerricha, could you speak a little bit about your building process, what that looked for you before you were able to scale? Because there is a difference between building your business and then scaling your business. Could you talk about where your sales were when you were building and then what you took there to then scale it, if you remember? I can fill in the pieces. Build.
So that's like
The growth.
point of revenue was skill. Like to the middle?
We scale when we ran ads.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so building my business. A lot of my building took place on social media, organically growing my business. I would be able to be in like Facebook groups, and I would get a lot of sales from posting what I was selling inside of the groups. I would run competitions like the Rub Challenge competitions and give away money or prizes or whatever to get content from people to use. And I did that from like 2017 up until 2019. Now, April of 2019, some stuff happened. And I told my team, like, okay, y'all, I'm not about to be able to promote on social media regularly anymore. We have to now figure something else out. And I know there's an audience that I have never, ever tapped into that is out there that will buy my product. I just have to figure out how to get it in front of them. I did not know anything about paid advertising. I saw things in my news feed like, you know how you think about some gym shoes and they pop up in your timeline? Like that stuff was happening to me. I'm like, I can be that thing. So I met some guys that said that they did ads. No, stop. Back up. I'm gonna talk about when I lost money. Okay, I met this lady, and I'm always gonna say her name because she's a scammer, and I want people to stay away from her. But if she's not in dating, that's another thing. Okay, so there are companies that kind of prey on small businesses. They know that you want to grow, they know that you want to scale, and they offer these services, and then they drag you along and tell you, you know, I'm just working on the back end. There's things that you can't see that I'm doing that's gonna get you there. It was never happening. She was getting $5,000, $10,000 at a time out of me, and nothing ever happened. I think I got a website out of the deal, but what was it? How much did I lose? Like 35,000? 35. That was marketing chicks. Okay, it was called the marketing chicks. They set up these Facebook pages and they seek out like small business owners. I think it was like 8,000 from her. I got back 3,500 of it. Okay, so $8,000 down the drain. So when these other guys came to me and said that they could help me to scale my business, I'm like, heard this song before. Well, they gave me an offer I couldn't refuse. They said, well, we'll do it for $700, but you have to spend $1,000 a day. And I'm like, I don't got that money like that. And they said that if I didn't make the money, that they'd just go away. All I took was a $700 loss. And in June of 2019, I ran my first campaign. And from $700, we made $63,000 that week. Like, the return was insane. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna ride this wave. There were multiple times that my business scaled. That was the first time it scaled. No, the first time it scaled was when I created the Rub Challenge, and that went viral. The second time was when I did the paid advertising. The third is when we scaled from a $1 million company to a $6 million company. And that was just using content that I created in 2017 and running it as paid advertising. So the groundwork that you put in could actually help you to scale your business. Like, I didn't make new videos to run paid advertising. I had everything in the arsenal, from all the contests I ran, all the customer submissions, and making them sign release forms that I can use this content for whatever I want to. Like, that helped to scale my business to, what, 6 million in 2020?
Okay. Yes. So I also want to talk about Jerricha. So the reason I prayed on Jerricha. I was like, Jerricha need me. She don't know she need me yet. So when I first started working with Jerricha, and what I've always liked about Jerricha is a risk taker. If don't nobody believe in Arcani Coil Care, Jerricha believes in Arcani Coil Care. That we could literally make $0 one day. And she'd be like, that's fine. We gon' we gonna make it back. Like the not I won't even say it's like a passion. It's just like
It's faith.
it's faith. The faith that she has in the successfulness of her business is what has motivated me to stay with Jerricha as a company. That has motivated just me in my personal life and how I move in my business. Like, if it's Arcani Coil Care to the ends. Like, she believes, and I'm just saying she believes, like, not that it's not going to happen. This is going to be given to her children, her family. So I don't meet a lot of business owners like that. They are literally scared to spend money. They are scared to invest in their company. They are scared to take it to that next level. And it's like, if you don't believe in your business or your company, why would someone else? And so if you don't believe in it, why would somebody give you money for something that you don't believe is, you gotta.
That $700 that I spent was all we had left.
That's literally all she had in her account. That was it. Somebody else would have held on to that. I want to say little seven because it
Was very
it was
small
little.
at that.
It was
Okay, we
little.
were still making money in the business, but all our money was spent on the bills. Like, that was the cash we had left. And I'm like, well, what's the worst that could happen? I do some hair or something.
So that's all we had, and she took that on a risk to hopefully make some more money, and it did. And I don't meet a lot of business owners who are willing to take that chance on their business, and they can have $1,000 to whatever it is. They just don't take those risks like that. Are there any questions, comments, concerns? Yes.
Okay, so this is another way that I'm about to scale my business to a $20 million company. I have been paying for services, like all kind of people. I'm on my third ad person. This is the third person. I had from November of 2020 up until March of this year, the like marketing team that works for Procter and Gamble, and I fired them. Uh, I now have a new ads person, but what I realized is nobody really knows my market better than me. So I am now, like my goal, everything is gonna be in-house. Like I'm training my husband to run Facebook ads, Google ads. We're gonna create a company out of that, and like everything's gonna be in-house. No money has to go to anybody else. It's literally building the Arcani brand. And once you get to the point where you have the time and the money to do so, I think that's another thing. Like, okay, it's business owners that have only made like 500,000 in their company, and they're on a beach laid up, like they don't have anything else to do. And me, I'm like, shit, like, let me figure out a class I can take, because it's things, I'm paying people for things that I could literally train somebody to do, like, and it just be a big ass black owned brand. And that's like what I'm doing. So we're currently training in-house people to do the things we're outsourcing. In my experience, people, when they think you making some money, get thirsty. They will sue you. They will send you cease and desist. Huh? Okay, I've got a short attention span. Sue you.
Okay,
Cease and
so
desist.
the question was, do you have to get that signed release form before you, or can it just be a text message? Can it just be like a verbal confirmation that you can use their likeness in your ad? So that was the question.
Okay, so my recommendation is on your website, you have a place for your terms and conditions. Like you can literally put it inside of there, like any content that is submitted or that is used using our brand, like inside of your video, we can use that. It worked.
And also, those forms are available on the internet. Like, Google. What is it? Media release form. Like a lot of things. There are certain professionals that you should have in your business, but I understand when you are first starting out, you cannot have them. One being a lawyer, one being an accountant, two being a tax preparer. You don't want to play with the law, the IRS, or the feds or anything like that. So those, if you don't get nothing else in your business, those are the three people that you want to acquire over time. So getting a media release form is something that you can Google until you can get a lawyer. Rocket Lawyer does them. LegalZoom does them. Like it's a simple Google search.
Or you can do things like this. So, okay, when I do my rub challenge contest, like when that email is sent out, I tell them like, sometimes I'll do it paid. I'll pay you $100, but I got rights to this video. You don't need to know how much money I make off of this video. You gonna take this $100 and I can use the video or not. But right now on my booking site, because I'm also a hairstylist, in the red, I'm a hairstylist, I own a brand. If you sit in my chair, you're giving me the right to use the content that I create. It's the back of your head. Nobody's gonna see your face. If you feel like you need $1 million for that, you need to go away. I don't need you. But I feel like I've gotten cease and desist from, and it's not a cease and desist. This lady tried to get $15,000 out of me for using a video, and it was her hair, but you couldn't see her face. But she recognized her hairstyle, and she sent letters, and my lawyer sent letters back like, girl, go on somewhere. We just stopped using her videos. But to avoid things like that, just put that on your website in your terms and conditions. Have people sign release forms, and it'll save you time and money.
So as far as the competition, I've seen set up a competition with a different brand. Have you ever set up a competition with a different brand of like edge control, or is it solely just a rub challenge for Arcani?
Oh, no, I don't play that because I had to pay for that trademark. So nobody else can use the rub challenge. I would never, okay, I've done rub challenge competitions, but I've blotted out the names of the edge controls. But I'll say a competition I didn't really expect was with Eben. They started using my rub challenge videos, and I got to send them a cease and desist. I don't partner, the rub challenge was made because I never seen an edge control marketed in that way. So I wouldn't allow another brand to ride the wave of that because I had to pay all the money. I posted all the videos. When I created the Rub Challenge hashtag, there were cats. If you typed in Rub Challenge, it was people putting on eyeshadow or rubbing cats. I made it hair related. So I can't let anybody else monetize that or gain any sort of benefit from that. That belongs to my children.
All right. What time is it? Okay. No. 15 minutes. Okay. So also, I just want to let you guys know, for you, those of you who are in Dayton, there are resources to help you with some of the professionals. So the Small Business Development Center, it sits right here in the hub. They are a free resource for you to get access to a lawyer, to get access to an accountant, to get access to legal forms or marketing ideals or marketing plans, anything like that, and they're free. So the SBDC, or Small Business Development Center, exists so that it can help small business owners grow their business until they are in a position to hire professionals and outsource that. People always ask me, well, when's the right time to hire an accountant? When's the right time to hire a tax preparer? And immediately, also, you are not in the business to do taxes. You are not in the business to do bookkeeping. You are not in the business to write documentation and legal jargon. That's not, in a moment. You are not you do not make money to do that. So any time that you spend doing that takes away from your business and your ability to do revenue generating activities. So as much as you think that you are saving yourself money by doing it yourself, you're probably doing it wrong, and you're not saving yourself time because you're taking away from whatever it is that you are in the business to do. Also, so the appropriate time to outsource those things, if you don't know how to do them, then don't do them. I always tell people that I'm not graphically inclined. That's not my ministry. Nope. So I contacted a web developer. I contact a graphic designer when I need, event flyer made or whatever, because it literally takes me all day to make a flyer when I could have done 8 tax returns and made billions of dollars as opposed to wasting my time for 8 hours and making no money. But I spent money to use the platform, so I probably spent like $12, but whatever. So it literally is beneficial to you to start aligning and seeking out people who can help you grow your business, because that's another thing. When I met Jerricha, she was a one-woman show. She was making products, she was buying the supplies, she was packaging, she was shipping. That only could get Jerricha to the income level that she was at. Jerricha has a team. You do not get to millions. You don't even get to a couple hundred thousands of dollars by yourself. You need a team. You cannot do that by yourself. Okay? You don't have to do it by yourself. We have the SBDC out here, like I said. You have to start aligning. That means you got to start talking to people and stop talking to your friends and family who telling you that there's free money out here for business owners, because they're lying to you. And then ask them what grant did they get, and then ask them to show you where they got their grant at. They're not gonna have the information for you because it don't exist. So start aligning yourself and being in places with people where these people hang out at, so that you can start building your team of people that you trust, and so that you can start building your business and then scaling your business if that's something that you want to do.
Emerald hunted me down.
I did.
Like Scar hunted down Mufasa. I did not know this woman. She always got on my posts on social media, and I'm like, who is this girl? And I didn't have no documentation. I wasn't bookkeeping. I've always been a cash-based business. I was running my company like an illegal drug dealer. And she came in and was like, you got a bookkeeping software? I'm like, what? A librarian? Like, no. But she came in and taught me a lot of things about money, and I credit her a lot because it's like, I wasn't really taught financial literacy when I was coming up. Like, if my mom didn't have money, she took something back to the store. Even if we wore the shoes, we got took back, and that's how we got some money. Like, but she helped me to like understand how I could make money work for me, and understand like, okay, Jerricha, like you can buy this, or we could take this money and we can put it here, and we can grow this aspect. Like, I feel like a lot of times, like when I do talk, business owners always want to talk to me, and I don't mind, but if you're not gonna listen, I don't want to talk to you. Like, if you prefer to take a trip to Bali instead of paying for an accountant, then that you don't want a business, you want some fantasy lifestyle. Like, people have the money. You got $400 a month to spend to have somebody do your taxes and keep your books, so that you can get funding and grow your business to the point where you could do whatever you want to do. People skip the grind part of business. They want to coast over that part. They just want the benefits of everything instead of like actually putting in the work for it. Like, when I made what, $250,000 my second year. I ain't own no designer, nothing, because I knew I need to make 10 million so that I can do whatever I want. Like, I can hire people. I don't got to do this. Like, I could just tell everybody what to do from my couch. Like, That's my goal. And for my children, when they get of age, they're gonna work for me. But like for my children to actually have something, people are spending like whatever they want to pass down on nothing, like depreciating assets, stuff that is never gonna make you money again. So like, I do. But she helped put those things in perspective. I knew to like reinvest my money, but helping me with my tax return, like all those little form things that Cash App gives you. Like I'm not using Cash App no more because that can get you in trouble with the IRS. Because there's a form, if you make a certain amount on Cash App, they send you that, and if you don't file that with your taxes, they'll come back and get you. Happened to me. I didn't even know how much money I was getting on Cash App. Like, small things like that that could have crippled my business. Like, do you want to make the sacrifice and grow it, or do you want to keep skating by? Like, and then like this glamorous thing of, oh, just do what I want. Like, no, you gotta pay people. You can't be begging everybody to do something for you for free so you can do whatever you want with the money. Like, that's why I pay my employees the rate that I pay them. That's why I pay for my employees' health insurance. Like, you don't get to just use people, and that's not right. That's advice I want to give. Like, do the people right that are helping you to grow. Like, good things don't come from people that don't do good to people. Like, you can't do that. I see people that pay their employees, like, and it's no shade, but can't nobody live off $9 an hour. I gave my employees last year, my base pay is $15 because I woke up like 1 o'clock in the morning, like 9 times 40 times 2 times 0.20%. They weren't making no money. And I'm thinking like, oh, $10 an hour is a lot. People can't pay their rent off of that. They can't take their kids out on the weekend off of that. Like, be a decent human being. Like,
And also, do not feel that you will skip the broke phase. So I was broke. 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 And people want to skip that phase. So it's like, I don't know if it's like an embarrassment thing. I've always been comfortable with money, and I also understand that people are not comfortable with money. So with my friends, I was like, if you want me to go out, you gotta pay for me, because I'm actually very comfortable sitting in this house because I know where my business is gonna go. But if you wanna hang out with me, you gotta pay. And sometimes my friends would be like, okay, and sometimes they would be like, no. And I didn't feel no certain type of way either way. But people want to skip that broke phase. I went through that phase for a year and a half. Did you have a question? How long was I broke? Okay, that's a very good question.
Can I answer?
Go ahead.
Okay, when you start living your life out of your business account, you need to start paying yourself. Like, if whatever money you making on the side ain't handling whatever, like, you need to start paying yourself. That's something else that she helped me with. Like, I was just paying my bills out of my account. She like, why don't you pay yourself? I'm like, I don't know how to do that. Like, so she set up payroll and things like that for me. Like, when did I get my first employees? Like July of 2019? 2019?
And that's another thing. So I can't determine that for you. So technically, for my own self, I've been in business for 5 years. I've only been paying myself for the last 2, because now let me say this. When I was broke, when I was going through my broke phase, I took a lot of odd jobs. So odd, nothing strange, but odd. So it took me a while to start living off of my business. Was my business making money? Yes, but was it something that I could solely live off of as a lifestyle and still run my business? No. So just like I said, for the last 2 years, I've been paying myself a salary. And what I mean by a salary is consistent. It's the same every 2 weeks. And it's payroll. I'm a W-2 employee for my business. I cannot determine when that starts for you because I don't know your financials. But that is you knowing your financials, looking at your financials, and looking at what you can pay yourself on a consistent basis. For some people, that's 5 years. Some people, that's 2. Some people, that's a year. So although we started payroll in 2019, even that, what Jerricha made then and what Jerricha makes now is different. So it just is looking at what your business can afford consecutively and consistently at the same time, at the same rate. But there's not like a 2-year period where you should be able to pay yourself. That it's not a science to it. I think we are, time? Okay. Did anybody else have any other questions? Because that's all the wisdom I have to bestow. How many is on the team? I think when I ran on like payroll, on her team, on her payroll, or team or paid team.
I think like 30 people.
There are like 29 people.
Yeah, and I got 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 people, 7 people on salary, and then the rest of my team is hourly. But my salaried employees are the ones that help this engine go. Like, I pay them a lot of money every 2 weeks. Okay. It's a lot.
Any other questions? Yeah. That's a good, so. We did. So she said, what is the percentage of your business that you pay yourself? So when you are first starting out, you are like not used to paying yourself, right? So I always tell people to start at like 15% of their revenue, right? So it's like to get you comfortable with it, is to get you like, okay, I'm paying myself, I'm cool. But then that can grow up to like 30%. That can grow up to 50%. It all depends on what your revenue is and then what your overhead is. So you never want to get to a point where you're paying yourself so high, of course, that you can't pay your bills and that you need to come back down because you are having like an off month. Your business needs to consistently bring in the same amount of money each month. Well, not without growth. It needs to be comfortable bringing in the same amount of money each month before you determine what your salary is. But anywhere from 50, starting out anywhere from 15 to 30% is a good starting point because it gets you in the habit of it. It can increase as your sales grow, of course, but you always need to make sure that you are able to pay your bills, pay your overhead, and then consistently pay yourself that same amount each time.
And have money left to grow your business.
Yes, because profits need to be reinvested back into the business, buy equipment, pay debt, pay yourself. Well, that's all that I have. So thank you for listening to us. Again, my name is Emerald Sparks, and this is Jerricha Hoskins, and it has been our pleasure.